Have you ever looked at your dog and wondered how that adorable, cuddly little creature could be so lovable when its cousin, the wolf, is so dangerous? All of you have been in or are currently in some sort of biology class, and for some of you, your current unit is about evolution, which dogs actually demonstrate very well. And most of you own dogs that live right in your home with you, and you rarely consider that its ancestors were creatures as relatively vicious as the wolf. I aspire to become a biologist, and I have come across the topic of dog domestication in many science books, leading me to wonder about how exactly this happened. Today, I would like to inform you about how the ancestors of dogs were domesticated and selectively bred into the obedient creatures we know today. First, I will cover the origins of dog domestication. Then, I will examine the historical breeding that contributed to artificial selection of dogs. And finally, we will look at some current research that illustrates the impact this may have had on dogs. The origins of dog domestication lie in the genes of ancient wolves that began to depend on humans for their resources and actually unintentionally began to domesticate themselves. According to Morrill, in her 2015 article in Scientific American, molecular genetic evidence shows us that dogs and wolves share a common ancestor that is an ancient wolf that is now extinct. And before people began to breed dogs, the ancestors of dogs survived by using humans for their resources and became what were known as village wolves or village dogs that scavenged around either the nomadic moving territories or the stationary civilizations. According to Price, in his 2003 book, humans were hunter-gatherers at this time, and present hunter-gatherers can actually show how this dog domestication may have happened because a hunter-gatherer civilization on the island of Pemba off the coast of Africa, the people there tolerate the scavenging village dogs that eat their waste and food, and this forms a symbiotic relationship. According to Morrill, the bones of ancient wolves that began to resemble dogs were found in the Czech Republic dating back to 27,000 years ago. Domesticated dogs, actually, when returned to the wild like those, they do not behave like wolves. They behave more like the village dogs known on Pemba. And after this initial self-domestication was undergone, humans began to breed these dogs into the animals that we know today, the wide spectrum that we know today. According to Jerry Coyne in his 2009 book, Why Evolution is True, humans used artificial selection, which is selecting the traits they saw and liked in these dogs, to create varieties of dogs that they liked or that were useful to them, such as the greyhound, which has been bred for speed. Some of this variation was present in the ancestors of these dogs, and we selected it from that gene pool, from the genes present there, the traits. But some of it arose during domestication as mutations or changes in the genetic code, and they have been inherited since. All breeds have come about in this manner, and the process of artificial selection that we observe can be better understood using current studies. According to Baum, in his 2013 book, a modern experiment on domestication is a Russian experiment with Russian silver foxes, which showed us that foxes bred only for tameness began to resemble dogs more with floppy ears and spots when only bred for behavior. This helps us also understand how dogs respond to our communication. There have been cognitive studies done that show that dogs respond more understandingly to our gestures of communication, and this helps us understand dog domestication from new perspectives. Today, I have informed you about how wolves were domesticated, selectively bred, and affected in their transition to becoming dogs. First, I discussed the origins of dog domestication. Then I discussed selective breeding historically to contribute to artificial selection. And finally, we looked at modern experiments that shed light on dog domestication. So next time you look at your dog and think, you're only using me for my resources, don't blame him too harshly, because without his ancestors doing that same thing, you might not have that dog today. Thank you.